Open Your Eyes is brought to you by SMART, bringing people together, and the Belize Bank, our country, your bank.
Good morning and welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm Sabrina Daly.
And I'm Paul Lopez.
And good morning, Paul. Nice to have you here on a Wednesday.
It's been 3 days in a row on set, but I'm back by popular demand. I see everyone in the comments saying, we want Paul.
Yeah.
We want Paul. We want Paul. And so I had to ensure that I fulfill the request.
Well, thank you. Thank you for doing
Just kidding, 100%. But it's good to be here this morning on set once again, Sabrina. There's a lot happening. I know on the weather front, because we always usually start with a little weather discussion on the weather front. It seems as if later on in this week there'll be some showers. At least that's what we're anticipating. But we'll leave that to the Met service later on in this morning show to give us an update. But there's a bit of drizzling outside right now and a little bit of sunshine. And so this weather, not sure what you call for, right? So just be prepared.
I like to tell our viewers, if you're getting ready and about to leave for work, maybe take that extra umbrella with you or a raincoat just in case, to prepare for anything really. Because in Belize, it could be hot 1 second and then raining in another. So try to stay mindful that we are still in the rainy season. As a matter of fact, we just started. So anything can really happen around this time. But we will get that official update from the folks at the Met Service in a few moments. But we do, as you mentioned, Paul, have quite a few topics to jump into. I know what's on a lot of our minds right now is that recent update from the Commissioner of Police on social media just a few hours ago. But before we jump into that, I think what's worthy of discussing first and foremost is the announcement of the state of emergency in certain parts of the country.
Yes. So Sabrina, you are right in saying that there's been an update, or at least a recent incident, the latest involving the Commissioner of Police, and we'll get to that. It's perhaps one of the most unprecedented situations of national security that we've seen in the nation. The house of the Commissioner of Police, Chester Williams, in Belmopan, was targeted by gunmen last night, on Tuesday night, just before 10 p.m. So this is right before midnight. He lives somewhere in the Las Flores area. At least this is where his Belmopan home is, somewhere in the Las Flores area. And reports information to us suggest that two men on a motorcycle drove by and unleashed a barrage of gunshots in the direction of his home. Now, this initiated an immediate police response. Police stormed the area, basically flocked the area, and so there was heavy police presence in this area last night. Now, we have never heard of any such thing like this where a commissioner of police, or at least his home in this incident, is being targeted by gunmen. Now, you have to back a rope a little bit and kind of process all that has taken place over the course of the last 2 weeks or so. We're starting with several murders, gun violence-related incidents here in Belize City, start there, which led to the declaration of a state of emergency in certain parts of Southside Belize City and Northside Belize City, as well as Roaring Creek and Cotton Tree. So the SOE in south side and north side, certain parts of south side and north side, Belize City, specifically Lake Independence area, jungle area in north side Belize City, and different and other parts of south side Belize City.
Victoria Street area, Lake Independence, other parts of the city,
yes,
where several individuals were rounded up under the latest emergency declaration,
yes,
as well.
So this stems from those that recent increase in gun violence, and which led to several murders. And so yesterday, what we saw was teams of police in these areas basically rounding up suspected or alleged gang figures to sort of arrest them or detain them under the state of emergency, which a state of emergency allows for. And so we saw that yesterday, and the Commissioner of Police indicated that not everyone that was rounded up or detained under the state of emergency in Belize City will be sent up to the Belize Central Prison, and it's expected that this state of emergency will run for at least 3 months, where in other cases we've seen the state of emergency run for like 1 month.
1 month.
There's our expectations that this will be an extended state of emergency, which means that these guys could be behind bars for several months leading up into September, and we'll see what happens from there.
I think, Paul, just to stick a pin here, there's a lot of pressure currently on the Belize Police Department. I think about the incident that took place in Roaring Creek just over the weekend, where the police station, the substation, was targeted by gunmen as well, and a police officer almost lost his life as a result. Of course, that was the more recent update on violent crimes taking place in the country, and one for major concern. But now to see that the Commissioner of Police's personal property is being targeted is something of an entirely different nature. And of course, you did mention that the Commissioner of Police was not at home. I believe he's also not in the country. His son, I believe, was the only one that was at home at the time. Nonetheless, this is something that we definitely have to keep a close eye on. The Commissioner of Police did notify us via social media of what he was aware of taking place. He did mention that an investigation quickly sprung into action, and they will do everything in their power to capture these individuals who targeted his home. And of course, I believe, I'm not sure if there's a connection in any of this that is taking place, Paul, because as we mentioned, as we just reported, I believe it was on Monday, the situation that took place in Roaring Creek at the police station. There seems to be a hot area in the Roaring Creek community, and perhaps that's one of the reasons why these individuals were picked up in the SOE as well. Will it be effective? I'm not sure. I think my other question, though, that I wanted to ask was that of the Leadership Intervention Unit. Are we going to see them spring into action? Are they working behind the scenes at this time?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've heard questions like that in response to questions like that where the Leadership Intervention Unit is concerned, and the Commissioner of Police and other authorities in the Belize Police Department, they've indicated that the Leadership Intervention Unit works in large part with those that wants to, kind of step into that sort of reformation, that wants to move away from this sort of gang violence, and they want to sort of have this sort of reformation experience. And
but
so
isn't a part of their role also mediation?
Well, in part, right? I can't speak to that fully, but I do know that on the other side of the coin, the Commissioner of Police have indicated that they will bring down the hammer on those who insist on causing this level of violence and incite fear and break down the sort of citizen security that we all desire. And so this is why the state of emergency was also declared in Roaring Creek and Cotton Tree. And I want to go back to that a little bit more, because what we saw in Roaring Creek with the shooting, the targeting of the police station, that set the stage for what was an unprecedented incident. Targeting a police station, I heard the public outcries, and it wasn't nice. A lot of people were calling or demanding that something be done about this.
Yeah.
And so we saw police round up individuals in Roaring Creek as well as in Cotton Tree. So the Roaring Creek, this is where of course the police station was targeted.
Yes.
Now in Cotton Tree, according to the Commissioner of Police, a lot of these actors from the Roaring Creek area
are from Cotton Tree?
Are from Cotton Tree, or they've moved to Cotton Tree, settled there, established their operations in Cotton Tree, right? And so that's why Cotton Tree is caught up in this entire thing. Very unprecedented incident. We've never seen anything like this before happen at any police station across the country. And so what we saw was police officers teaming in the Roaring Creek as well, teams of police officers detaining individuals in Roaring Creek. Now, last night, it's almost as if last night's incident at the Commissioner of Police House was a splitting image of what we saw at the Roaring Creek Police Station. Some perhaps would refer to it as a copycat incident, a copycat crime, where basically this incident was heavily published in the media at the Roaring Creek Police Station, so that somebody would come and say, you know what, we could copy this and do something different, similar, but we'll take it up a notch and target the house of the Commissioner of Police. And then also yesterday, it was heavily publicized that the Commissioner of Police would be out of the country, traveling on official business, and that he wouldn't be at home. Well, lo and behold, his son was at home the last night when gunmen targeted his home. We've never heard anything like this, and so I think that one of the things that we must demand is to hear from our political directorates. Particularly, we must hear from the Minister of Home Affairs on this. If we've been reluctant to call a press conference, perhaps now is the time for us to call a press conference, because a situation like this begins to erode citizens' security in a manner that we have never seen before. So we do need to hear from Minister Musa and perhaps even the Prime Minister.
Well, who we did hear from yesterday was the leader of the opposition, Moses Shine Barrow.
Yeah.
He gave a comment on the recent gang violence that is taking place across the country. Of course, he did criticize the Commissioner of Police, Chester Williams, for his ability to not be able to calm the situation that is currently taking place. He particularly mentioned, I believe, a reference that the Commissioner of Police made to crime and violence being correlated to concerts and music and entertainment. And this was something that I believe we also covered extensively last week as well. But the leader of the opposition is saying, look, you can't blame the spike in crimes on music and entertainment. Right. We need to be more real than this. He's saying that the Commissioner of Police, Chester Williams, needs to be replaced. He needs to step down. And this isn't something that he has only just been mentioning. The Commissioner of Police has been heavily criticized by the leader of the opposition for quite some time now. So it's interesting that since that development that took place over the weekend, and of course the comment from the leader of the opposition, this is now taking place. I wonder what will be his reaction to what's taking place now.
Yeah, I listened keenly into the leader of the opposition last night, and I said to myself, this is why we need an opposition.
Absolutely.
We need an opposition to give a different perspective. Because it's one thing to hear from the Commissioner of Police, but we also have other authorities, public figures that can
honestly,
speak.
He makes a fair point, Paul, because are we saying that these concerts, and the particular concert in question in this case is the Trinidad concert that took place over the weekend.
And this is what he's saying.
Are we saying that that Trinidad concert has led to the Roaring Creek police station being shot up? Are we saying that that Trinidad concert has led to the Commissioner of Police's property being targeted as well?
Clearly, the Commissioner of Police and other law enforcement figures would have more information than the general public. They are the investigators here. But I think also the point that is being made by the leader of the opposition is that even if this is the case, there is a need for effective police or law enforcement responses and activities, even preventative measures to sort of disallow these situations to escalate in the manner in which they are. Now, he referred to the Commissioner of Police in his own words as spoiled milk. Words, those are my words, those are his words, but basically the leader of the opposition continues on this mission or his call to have the Commissioner of Police removed. But I wanted to go back to the Commissioner of Police's social media statement following the shooting on his house last night, because the Commissioner of Police made some very interesting points, basically saying that, you know what, this is a part of what happens when I bring down the hammer on these guys, but I will not quit. So good night. A short while ago, I was informed by my son that shots were fired at my house in Belmopan. He says, I've seen a number of persons sharing information on social media, and I continue to receive a number of calls and messages from persons checking on my well-being. Of course, everybody will check on the Commissioner of Police. I can confirm that I am okay. I just arrived in New York. Can we slow it down a little bit, please, and just come back down? All right, so he said, my mandate as a Commissioner of Police remains clear, and that is to keep the people of our country safe. Of course, this is in response to the state of emergency being instated. This is even at my own safety being at risk. So again, him saying that he sort of knew that this would cause that. I would therefore not be perturbed by the cowards act of those who committed this reprehensible act. So anybody who would have thought that this incident would cause the Commissioner of Police perhaps to go in a hole, well, clearly we're seeing here him taking a stance, just whether on social media, to say, hey, you know what? While this may be a frightening situation to many, I will continue to take a stand. And so the Commissioner is in a very tight position this morning, but we know that he remains in New York and that he will continue to his official business duties, and then he will return home. We expect to hear from the Commissioner later today on this incident and other related matters, and so we will look out to hear from the Commissioner of Police later on today. He did mention that
he's going to be at the UN Chiefs of Police
That's
Conference.
where he is.
So I'm wondering what that discussion will look like now that he has been informed of what is taking place to his own property.
Well, I'm sure this will be a personal experience for him to share in the many security discussions that we'll have. Anyway, Sabrina, there's a lot to talk about here, but for now, we'll leave it at that, and we'll continue to follow up on this. I'm certain a team will be deployed, a news team that is, will be deployed to Belmopan this morning, and so you can stay tuned for updates and all the insights on our social media page, as well as our 6 p.m. newscast.
Absolutely. Well, I think we should end on a lighter note, Paul, and that's because KTV The Remix Season 6 audition night was last night. And of course, it brought about quite the viewership as well. I think we were all glued to our devices or to our television sets, watching at home at 8 p.m. last night. Of course, that was the official debut of Season 6, which brought about 33, I believe, auditioners to test out their pipes and see if they can make it to the live stage next week, Tuesday. We do want to inform those persons who did audition, as you saw on your devices or live last night, that only 12 will make it to the live stage next week. So those individuals, I believe, should be informed either yesterday or today if they made it or not. Nonetheless, it was exciting. It was a great show. We saw talent on talent on talent, and we also saw some questionable performances as well. Nonetheless, it's entertainment, and I definitely think we're all looking forward to this season as well. It brought about a lot of young people, but also a lot of talented young people as well. So congratulations to everyone who really put their courage to the test, and they came out and showcased what they have.
Belize's favorite Tuesday night entertainment is back. KTV, the remix. I sat there, well, laid in my bed actually, and I watched the entire show along with my wife, and we laughed, we smiled. Not only by the performances, but also the comments. And I have to commend our team over here, the KTV team, who's monitoring those comments, because you have the comments that are neutral, you have comments that are safe, that say objective criticism, but then there are also comments that were just mean and outright
That's something that
rude.
that we have a challenge
And so
with.
I have no problem in our team taking those comments, deleting them immediately, deleting them, and if it's necessary to block some of these viewers, because I warned them yesterday, I said keep it clean and keep it nice, because if not, you're gone. You're gone, and you better find another page or watch it on your friend's page. And so I have to commend the KTV team, but also I have to commend all these contestants that were brave enough to put themselves out there and basically show off their talents. As you said, we had some exceptional performances last night. Of course, I have to big up my Belmopan people because I saw...
or your Kayo people.
Well, I'll say what makes for an interesting story is the father and son, Nigel Petio, and his son, Elijah. They both auditioned. To me, I'm not the judge or any of the pickers, but they both sounded great. And of course, this is my Belmopan bias there. This is Freudan Choco. He sang Sorry. Now, Choco said from the onset that he's coming on to try something new. That he wanted to get out of his comfort zone. And that's what inspires some people to come out and do these performances. We know that the selection has been made. Those 12 individuals have been selected. I saw the judges gathering, I think it was either yesterday or Monday, to make their decision. And so today, for those who are listening and wondering, when will we get that call? Because I even saw some comments, people saying, well, I haven't made it, I didn't make it.
No,
well,
no one was called as yet.
No one
and that is
has been called as yet.
Yes.
So no one knows who's made it or who's not made it as yet. And so those calls will go out today, though.
Yes.
And those 12 individuals, again, Keenan, one of my favorite contestants from last
his season, yes.
I interviewed him, but today those calls will be made, and those 12 contestants that will be going straight to the live shows will definitely be informed today about that.
Well, we do want to inform you guys, for those persons who have been enjoying the show on social media, stay tuned to your devices, because leading up to the live show next week, Tuesday, we will be announcing some giveaways as well. I love that we're able to engage our viewers, Paul, and of course those who attend the live audience shows as well. It's quite an exciting experience on both sides. I know people who come in person, they get a whole different experience from those who watch at home or wherever they are. Nonetheless, though, this is quality entertainment, and I see why we're here for 6 years, you know?
Indeed.
All right, well, moving into the rest of our show, we do have an eye-opener for you for your daily dose of morning motivation. And Paul, why don't you take it away this morning?
Of course. And this is taken from dailyom.com, and it goes like this. Keeping an open mind is the most important step when learning to listen to divine guidance. Anyone who has asked for divine guidance knows that it can be challenging to trust it when it comes. This is because divine guidance comes in many forms, and it's sometimes hard to locate it. We aren't sure if we are meant to trust our thoughts, our feelings, our dreams, our intuitions to be the carriers of divine wisdom. We're not sure if advice from a friend is the form in which the guidance has come into the world, or if our own opinion is the source of wisdom we need to take seriously. The ability to sort all this out comes with trial and error, and the best way to learn to recognize divine guidance is to engage in the process of asking and receiving. Sometimes when we ask for guidance, we already have a sense of what we want to hear. At such times, receiving guidance can be difficult because we don't want to hear anything that appears to be in opposition to our desire. It helps to acknowledge what we want and then to symbolically set it aside, making more room for whatever wisdom comes through to us. In this way, we gradually attune ourselves to our particular relationship with the divine. Begin to trust the guidance you are receiving, and soon you will find it flowing with ease.
Lovely eye-opener. Wonderful. I'm hoping you were able to capture something from this eye-opener, of course, to help you throughout your day today, or maybe you remember it when you need it most. Moving, though, into our weather update for that official update from the folks at the National Meteorological Service. Let's see if we can expect some rain today or if it's going to be generally dry.
Good morning, Belize. Relatively moist and unstable conditions persist. The 24-hour forecast for Belize and her coastal waters calls for sunny skies today with cloudy spells, and high temperatures for today are expected to reach 90 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, to 95 inland and 82 over the mountains. Tonight, the skies will be cloudy at times with low temperatures of 82 along the coast, 74 inland and 68 in the higher elevations. A few showers and isolated thunderstorms will continue to develop mainly along the south coast and central inland areas of the country during the morning hours. This afternoon, shower activity will develop mainly over inland areas. Tonight and tomorrow morning, expect a few outbreaks of showers and thunderstorms to develop mainly over southern districts. The winds will blow from the east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, and the sea state will be light to choppy. A low tide will occur at 6:47 a.m. followed by a high at 12:54 p.m. Another low occurs at 8:09 tonight and a high at 2:21 a.m. The sun rose at 5:20 a.m. and set at 6:30 this evening. The moon set at 9:50 this morning and comes up at 10:43 tonight. The outlook for Thursday and Thursday night is for cloudy spells. Shower activity will be isolated, then expect some outbreaks of showers and thunderstorms to develop mainly south and coastal areas during the night. In the tropical weather outlook, a westward moving tropical wave located over the central Caribbean Sea is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Although this system only has a low chance of development, there is some potential for some gradual development once it reaches the western Caribbean Sea. Regardless of development, this system has the potential to produce heavy rainfall over Belize this coming weekend. The National Meteorological Service will continue to monitor this system closely and update the public of any development. And that's your morning forecast that was produced here at the National Meteorological Service.
And that does it for our weather report this morning. What we're going to do now is we're going to jump into our show for the morning.
Absolutely.
We have 4 segments lined up, and in our first conversation, we'll be joined by the Ministry of Blue Economy and Disaster Risk Management to talk with us about the NEMO and MET Forum.
And in our second conversation, it's all about the importance of parrots in captivity.
Yeah, and then in our third conversation, we'll be talking about the Growing the Future project.
And in our final conversation, I know everyone is looking forward to this game this weekend, Paul. Of course, it's the Defenders versus the Belize Hurricanes. Who will win Game 3? I know that they're currently tied, so that's going to be an exciting one to look forward to as well. Yeah. But we got to take our first break, and when we come back, the conversation's all about NEMO and MET Forum. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I'm connected. Yo.
I'm connected.
We're connected.
Create the perfect broadband bundle that fits your style with Smart Connect. With the Junior Bundle, get 50% off your national calls and up to 6 gigabytes of data at no extra cost. Get postpaid added on for an additional cost of only $25 with the Prime Bundle. Stay connected with unlimited smart-to-smart calls plus 6,300 megabytes of data and free international minutes. For the family, Get the Binge Watchers bundle with Netflix add-on for only $28.13 more. This bundle gives you 4 profiles with unlimited streaming on multiple devices. Visit a showroom near you to sign up and personalize your own bundle combination with Smart Connect. Smart, bringing people together.
Welcome to Design Depot, home of Sherwin-Williams Paint. Sherwin-Williams Paint is one of the most reputable paints in the industry, known for its superior quality, durability, and environmentally friendly technology. We carry a large variety of products for all your home and commercial needs, such as interior and exterior paints, primers, wood stains, sealers, clear top coats, caulking, aerosols, concrete, and masonry products. Achieve professional-looking results with ease using Sherwin-Williams paint and coating. Design Depot, all in one place.
1,067,700 slices of bacon are eaten by tourists each year, stimulating our local economy. Tourism means business.
Man, this weather will hold me back again. I really need our car.
Hey James, you look for a car?
Hey, Bri, yeah. Things would be so much easier if I had a car, but then I'd have to take out a loan, and I'm not sure if that's the right move, you know?
Yeah, I get that. Sometimes to achieve our goals, we need financial assistance. But it doesn't have to be scary. We can make informed choices.
What are your financial goals? A loan could help turn these aspirations into reality. But before you make that commitment, take a close look at your budget and carefully assess your income and expenses. Learn about the various types of loans and the potential impact on your financial future. Meet with someone who can guide you through the loan process, helping you understand the terms, interest rates, and repayment period. Finally, read the fine print. Make sure you are comfortable with the terms and conditions. The decision to take out a loan should be a well-informed one. Remember, knowledge is your greatest ally. Take your time, do your research, and make a choice that aligns with your aspirations and financial well-being.
Make informed choices.
A message from the Central Bank of Belize. Visit us at centralbank.org.bz. The Central Bank of Belize. People-focused, purpose-driven.
I'm connected. Yo.
I'm connected.
We're connected.
Create the perfect broadband bundle that fits your style with Smart Connect. With the Junior Bundle, get 50% off your national calls and up to 6 gigabytes of data at no extra cost. Get postpaid added on for an additional cost of only $25 with the Prime Bundle. Stay connected with unlimited smart-to-smart calls plus 6,300 megabytes of data and free international minutes. For the family, get the Binge Watchers bundle with Netflix add-on for only $28.13 more. This bundle gives you 4 profiles with unlimited streaming on multiple devices. Visit a showroom near you to sign up and personalize your own bundle combination with Smart Connect. Smart, bringing people together.
Welcome back. We're having our first conversation this morning, and as we mentioned, it's all about NEMO and MET Forum. Of course, we're joined by Shayna Young, and she is the senior climatologist with the Belize Met Service. And also joining us virtually is Daniel Mendez, and he is the National Emergency Coordinator for NEMO. Good morning, guys, and welcome.
Good morning. Good morning.
Now, I know we are looking forward to both of your organizations here on set with us, especially during the rainy season. We just got an update from you guys over at the Met Service on what we can expect from the weather throughout the course of the day leading up to the weekend. And of course, there's also an importance of the National Emergency Management Organization. We saw them spring into action during the fire situation, and again, we know that they are strongly represented during the hurricane season. But let's talk about the coordination that we are seeing here and this forum in question.
So actually it's two forums. I think their one is tomorrow, Thursday, or the National Climate Outlook Forum will be held on Friday in Belize City. But as you rightly mentioned, we coordinate very closely together, especially during the hurricane season. Actually, even though we haven't been threatened by a system, every day we have a daily briefing with our forecasters, but as well as NEMO, in addition to hydrology at 11:30 every day, especially seeing that all the rains has started. They need to know whether or not they need to prepare for any flooding events or others. So
is that activated at the start of the hurricane season?
We in the past we used to do the briefings, but when MET and hydrology were together, so we're at two different locations, but it's very important for all of us to collaborate, especially when it comes to flooding. So we have resumed that partnership, especially since we're enhancing our early warning system for the entire country.
I think that's one of the things that stood out to me, Paul and Sheena and Mr. Mendez, during the discussions with the fire situation. We automatically assume that the coordination takes place when there's a natural disaster, but not actually the fact that you guys stay in touch frequently, even outside of that. Let's talk about that coordination, Mr. Mendez, and why is it important from NEMO's side to stay in contact with the folks at the Met Service?
Thank you. It's really important for us to have that partnership, and as you will have heard, our minister keep saying that we're no longer just concerned about June to November, but it's actually from January to December. As you saw, the fires really showed us that emergencies happen anytime and really anywhere in the country, and it is important for us to always have a strong mechanism within all our sister and partner organizations. So in the hurricane season and the rainy season, it is really important for NEMO to be in touch with both hydrology and meteorology, because this is where we receive the briefings about the expected rainfall and where we expect to see floods. And this is really what we are focusing on, so that we can provide early warning to the public, but also for us to start to coordinate within among our agencies, coordinating that response that we should be expecting. And you saw this in the fires that we have been battling recently. So the coordination did not just happen at the start of the fire, but we have always been in communication and in working with all of our partners. And so we were able to pull all of that together into that, and we will do the same thing if we have to activate for any major flood or for any hurricane this season.
I know that early warning systems are crucial to all stakeholders involved in disaster risk management, because on one end you're providing data that is necessary for NEMO to act, and for other organizations, be it government agencies or NGOs. And I want to talk a bit, Mr. Mendez, though, about tomorrow's forum. I believe NEMO launches their forum tomorrow. Would you give us some insight into what can be expected at this forum?
Yes, thank you. So this is part of the ministry's push to show that coordination between all our partners. And so what we'll be focusing on tomorrow at our forum is a series of events. And so we'll be providing some briefings on what we should expect from our partner organizations. So in particular, we will be hearing from the Red Cross, we'll be hearing from the United Nations agencies, our regional partner, SEDIMA, who is the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency. We will also be discussing some areas that we really haven't been talking about, at least publicly. Those are the issues of disaster risk financing, the issues of the importance of recovery planning, and also safety and security during disasters. So these are all issues that are present whenever there's a issue, but it's something that we really have to start that conversation, not only in government, but really among everyone. Everyone needs to be thinking about your own recovery plan after an event. you have to be thinking about where not only where you will be going for when there's an issue, what shelter you'll be using, but also all of those issues that surround that. And so it's really bringing all of these partners into one room to talk about those things and air these things for in a public space.
I want to spend a little time on disaster risk financing, because just coming off the heels of all these forest fires, we've seen how extensively these fires damage the properties of these farming communities in Toledo District, and of course them having to begin their livelihoods all over from scratch. Financing has been one of the biggest support that they need at this time. How does the National Emergency Management Organization incorporate financing into this to support people like those that were affected from the forest fires?
Yes, so Belize has access to a series of financial tools, and we're also in the process of developing new tools. So what we're learning is that it is important to have this coordination and these plans in advance, because when these things do happen, this is not the time for us to be finding out where funding will be coming from. So we have started the planning. Yes, then the response, and then the recovery is a different, because the recovery takes more time. Recovery sometimes takes up to years in the different parts of the world as the result of major events. Recovery can take up to 2 or 3 years, so it's a longer process, and so that has to be financed. And we do have to keep on providing assistance to people, not only immediate assistance, but also that long-term for their long-term needs in terms of infrastructure and health. And so it is important for us to have a plan. It is important for us to know where the finance will be coming from and what mechanisms and tools we will be accessing to provide this support to people who are affected by these disasters.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that we're talking about disaster risk financing, because we oftentimes hear the criticism that, oh, how is it that we aren't prepared? Or how is it that we don't have measures in place to mitigate these types of incidents, or at least decrease the impact? Well, it's interesting to hear that yourself saying that there are discussions internally on these matters, like how do we safeguard these communities for the future in the event they face these sort of risks or these sort of emergencies. And what I'm hearing you say is that financing is one of the key components, but also is one of the areas that we're lacking.
I wouldn't say we're lacking. What I'm trying to say is that we have to ensure we have a solid plan. So we are working with all our partners, such as the World Bank, IDB, who are the ones who provide these tools, and so we are working with them to develop these tools and to ensure that what we have is enhanced, and also working with them to access new financial tools that they offer specifically for disasters.
Okay.
Let's take the conversation to Shayna really quickly and talk about the forum that will be taking place from the Met Service side.
Okay, so actually it's like a continuation. So you were mentioning just now long-term, right? Long-term planning for disaster risk. But the forum actually covers both. It covers disaster risk, but also climate risk for the long term. As Mr. Mendes rightly said, that the disasters or hazards that we are impacted by doesn't only occur during June to November. It occurs from January to December.
Because of climate change.
Yes, and actually we are supposed to have 2 forums typically every year. But for several reasons, we've only been able to, since 2013, to have these forums once per year. And we chose to do it during the, at the beginning or close to the beginning of the start of the hurricane season, because of how we are impacted by like major disasters during that particular period. But we will be looking at long-term planning, which also includes information where they can use to prepare for disaster risk financing, right? If they know that for the next 3 months, 6 months, that they're going to be impacted by heat waves, because yes, the dry season has ended, but our heat season has not ended. It actually runs from April to October. So we have multi-hazards, and that's why this year's forum will be focusing on multi-hazard early warning systems and we're actually introducing for the first time a multi-hazard tournament, which we will include not just the climate or the seasonal outlooks, but also all the different agencies, which includes NEMO, hydrology, energy sector, to see how the rainfall, temperature, heat, but also hurricanes or storms will impact them or can impact them during this particular 3 months, and what they can start to do now to plan, like Mr. Mendez said, for any of these hazards. NEMO typically prepares before, but like you mentioned, responds when we are threatened to be impacted by a particular hazard, and then when that hazard already occurs, then they have the response. But this forum actually helps them to plan in advance, at least 3 months or 6 months in advance for any of the hazards that we will likely face during this particular 6 months.
I think having these forums and these discussions are commendable, because these are issues that countries that are way more developed than Belize are still grappling with. And these discussions are sometimes not had in well-advanced countries. And so to hear us having these discussions is important. How is it, though, that we speak about climate and weather, etc., in advance, when at times it can be very unpredictable, weather systems and weather patterns? And when, in the case of hurricanes, when you're preparing for hazards and disasters, you're not too certain beforehand. Like now, you're not sure in September, October, what area, if any at all, in Belize would be threatened.
So when it comes to weather and also climate, there are different time scales, right? Like you mentioned, the predictability for weather time scale goes out to like 3 days, 4 days, sometimes maybe up to a week, but 3 days or 4 days is typical. In terms of the seasonal outlook, they use different mechanisms. They rely on like the historical climatology and other stuff and different types of models. There are 2 different models, a weather model that deals with the short term, but also climate models, and they have different skills, so they focus on other things. In terms of the climate part, yes, we will not be able to tell you exactly when, like this week. We're working on that because we're working on what we call sub-seasonal forecast, which is 2 weeks, 3 weeks period, what hazards you can expect. If you're going to expect excess rainfall above 100 millimeters, 50 millimeters and stuff like that, that's something that in the region, like you mentioned, even the bigger countries still don't have these mechanisms in place. And actually, in the Caribbean region itself, Belize, Guyana, and Trinidad were the only countries up until earlier this year that has been hosting the National Climate Outlook Forum from since 2013 in the case of Belize, and the others most recently. But we have been helping other countries to develop these forums because they're very important, especially for long-term and contingency planning for any of the hazards.
I think what's obvious here in this conversation is that Belize has continuously been a trailblazer when it comes to climate action, when it comes to doing our part. I think that that can also be said when we represent the country on these bigger platforms across the world. I think about the COP sessions that take place annually, and how Belize is looked upon as a small island developing state, but still trying to do its part, knowing that we aren't one of the bigger emitters. We still try to ensure that we do our part to reverse as much as we can when it comes to climate impacts. But that said, I think one of the things we still question when it comes to advancements and trying to be prepared when it comes to the impacts of climate change is technology and the things that we still lack. Especially over on the MET side, is there or are there resources that we still need that could potentially make your work easier?
We always need resources, both technological and as well as the most important one, human
resources,
yes.
Which is a very big issue over at the MET service, correct? Because people are retiring, but not enough people are showing interest in the job.
Yes, because it's a very highly technical field, and unfortunately we're not able to train persons here in the country locally, so that requires financing. But in terms of the early warning system, it is something that is used, like you mentioned, for climate action. People don't often associate early warning systems or multi-hazard early warning systems with climate change. But that is one of the most effective adaptation measure. We tend to focus a lot currently on mitigation, But early warning systems is a very effective adaptation measure because we can't do anything about the hazards. We can't stop. Yeah. We can't change the course of the hurricanes, but we can prepare and we can adapt as best as possible, whether it includes relocating persons or building in a higher or in away from flood zones. All of those are adaptation measures that we take to deal with the hazards that are a result of climate change, but also will become even more frequent because of climate change. So that is something that early warning has been helping, and actually the World Meteorological Organization as well at COP, that's one of the biggest areas that they're focusing on, early warning action for all, because with having early warning, we actually save the lives or damages by at least 30%.
Wow.
And you're right, and there are technologies out there that can help in this, aid in this sort of initiative to, for example, show trends. Flood-prone areas in Belize City, for example. We know these areas, but there's technology out there that could really map out and show us.
And that's something that we are missing. So that is going to be incorporated in the tournament.
That would be good.
But we need more exact, precise location, like, okay, this area, not just on a district level, but also at a community level, are prone to flooding, fires, etc. And actually, we have a project in the pipeline in collaboration with NEMO, with CDB, the Caribbean Development Bank, which will be focusing on not just multi-hazard early warning system in the Belize district area as a pilot, but also on the impact-based forecasting. Yes, we can tell you that it will rain later this evening tonight, but what impacts will it have on you? What do you need to do as a regular citizen, as a manager of water resources at the government level? And that's the direction that the Met Office is going towards. And this project will help us to not only enhance our skills in providing early warning, but also get some of the technology that we currently lack to provide that early warning. And we will be launching our weather app very soon. And as time progresses through several different projects, we're going to be adding different features for agriculture and other sectors on that app.
That's excellent.
As we seek to wrap up the conversation, I want to bring Mr. Mendes in one more time, just on the topic of technology. For you to, because I know when it comes to NEMO, a lot of people think about recovery and the recovery efforts that you all do. But how has technology advanced in your field to sort of make your recovery efforts, that's what we're focusing on here, more efficient? Because I know there are technology, there's database out there, there's softwares out there that could make this process more efficient to ensure you reach each and every person that needs recovery assistance.
Okay, thank you. So you will have heard that the MET service produces a lot of information. And so what we do with that information is to incorporate that into really understanding the disaster risk element for each hazard. Disaster risk has three specific components. There is number one, the hazard, which you have heard we have no control over. We know that the hazards are getting worse because of the effects of climate change. But then there's also the issue of exposure and the issues of vulnerability. And so when these three combine, this becomes what we call disaster risk. Now, where do we have control? So we only have control over two aspects, exposure and vulnerability. So the exposure are things like you heard Ms. Young say, for getting people building in certain areas or building a certain way, build a certain height. When it comes to vulnerability, how do we help people to be better to adapt? How do we help people to be better to cope with these new and changing hazards? And so this is where we have to utilize technology. So we have also access to new and developing tools as well across the world. So that disaster management is not a static science. It's constantly changing and finding new ways to address these issues, because we're not the only country in the world facing these enhanced hazards. So we have been able, for example, in the fires, we have been able to utilize satellite data and satellite information in order for us to understand the impact of the hazards and really the scope of what had happened. So that has been made available to us. We're also utilizing GIS, geographic information systems, to also be better able to understand and to plan. So we utilize this in our shelter inspection this year, and that really has allowed not only NEMO but all our partner organizations to be better able to see where our weaknesses are and where our strengths are, and where to focus our efforts and our small amount of resources. Ultimately, it's how do we utilize the resources we have to address the issue. And anyone in this field will tell you that the needs are great, but the resources are few. So we have to be better able to utilize what we have and maximize the impact of these resources. And so this is how we utilize that information for the early warning. So we know what the climate outlook is, and we know we're then able to apply our tools in order to better able to understand where things will happen, how it will happen, and more importantly, how we prepare people for those potential
Wonderful.
impact.
Very insightful conversation this morning. Thanks to both of you for joining us via Zoom and on set. For NEMO Forum tomorrow morning starting at 9 a.m. That's in Belize City at Ministry of Sustainable Development and Climate Change Auditorium. Where's that? That's in
that is in Belmopan. It's a big green building in Belmopan, in front of the football stadium in Belmopan.
Okay.
Green building.
Is it open to the public?
Yes. However, space is very limited, so it will very likely be on a first come first served basis.
Okay.
We're asking people to call our office 822-2054 if you have interest in coming. Let us know in advance so we can tell you if there's any more space. But like I said, we will do our best to either record it or to offer it live streaming. I'm not certain yet, but definitely the results will be available to the public.
All right, and then the MET Forum is on Friday, and that one is in Belize City.
Yes, at the Biltmore Plaza from 9 to 4.
9 to 4, wonderful. Well, thank you both once again for joining us on set.
All right, we're going to take another quick break, and when we come back, the conversation switches into the importance of parrots in captivity. Stay with us. I'll be right back.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Fulltech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Fulltech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
I'm David Humes, this is Vanessa Humes. We own Littleville Cool Spot. Belize Bank save us a lot of time. Working with them, we can keep track exactly what we spend. We recommend Belize Bank 100% because we don't have to go to stand up in line, and we can check on our account right from our house. Working with Belize Bank is the best.
Celebrate the heroes and champs and enjoy massive savings and giveaways from Cellular World. Stand out when you buy 2 Android smartphones starting as low as $199, or even better, mix or match an Infinix Smart 8 64GB or Redmi A3 64GB to get 2 of the same, or combined for just $489. But that's not all. Get the Logic L66M phone with a wireless earbud included for an unbeatable $289. You can also bundle a JBL Go 3 speaker with the JBL earbud or headphones for just $199. Save even more when you shop Samsung Galaxy phones starting at just $349 with a 1-year local warranty and a gift included. Or buy any TV with a free surge protector. Get tablets, gaming consoles, business products, and so much more. Deals, deals, and more deals. Shop at any of our 6 locations in Belize City, Belmopan, San Pedro, or now in Orange Walk, or via our virtual stores through Facebook, Instagram, or WhatsApp at 615-5141. Cellular World.
MacNav Visual Strategies, where creativity meets business. Step inside our world of innovative visual solutions. From captivating graphic design to expansive wide format productions, our services are tailored to bring your vision to life. Experience the impact of our high-quality signage and billboards, embroidery, promotional items, and professional paper printing, all designed to elevate your brand's presence. Every project reflects our commitment to creativity, quality, and client satisfaction. At MacNav Visual Strategies, we transform ideas into visual realities. Get in touch today.
Defenders don't frighten for nobody.
The pinnacle apex of the BEPL is here. It goes down this Friday night inside the Belize City Center. Yes, fans, Muy Uno Resorts and Old Capital Sports brings to you the last servant of Friday Night Lights. And it features your Belize City Defenders versus the Belize Hurricanes in a decisive game 3. This series has been nothing short of exciting, and Game 3 promises to be even more. This Friday, June 28th, it's Defenders versus Hurricanes. Gates open at 7 for tip-off set at 9. Fans, don't forget, we have the 1, 2, 3 halftime challenge for a whopping $4,000 in cash. This you can't afford to miss. Tickets go on sale Friday morning, 11 a.m. at the Civic Center ticket booth. Sponsored by Investors. Come in, Investors.
Welcome back. This is our second conversation for this morning, and it's all about, as we said earlier, the importance of parrots in captivity, or perhaps the importance of parrots not in captivity, or not being in a captive space, right? Why it's important not to do that. And so we have in studio with us Miss Nikki Buxton, and she's Executive Director of Belize Bird Rescue, as well as Miss Victoria Chi, who's a Wildlife Manager, Forest Manager at the Belize Forest Department. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning. Ladies, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, so this conversation, as I understand it, is in the context of the parrot breeding season. Is that correct? Let's talk a bit about the breeding season and the timeline for the parrot breeding season. Ms. Buxton?
Parrots, they start pairing up and looking for nest sites around February, March, and then the breeding season is March through probably to the end of June, early July. Okay. So we're right in it right now.
So we are in it.
Yes.
And talk a bit about what happens in terms of their behaviors during this period.
Actually, it's very clearly defined. They're kind of like people, really. They couple up and they get a little aggressive. You know,
Courting stage.
They find themselves a home. They make themselves some babies, and then they all come back together as a flock at the end of all that process.
Ms. G, how many species of parrots do we have in Belize?
We have 9 species of parrots.
9 species. Can you list those 9 species? I'm not going to put you on. Are there species, different species that calls different areas of Belize home?
Yes, we have different, the 9 different species are in different areas of the country. For example, scarlet macaw, which is one of the most iconic species. Those only are found in the Chiquibo and in the Red Bank area, and so that's their nesting grounds. While the other species can be found pretty much throughout the country. But for example, yellowhead, for whatever reason, we like these
pine trees. And so those are their habitats. But when it comes to these species of parrots, what is important to note is that the Forest Department started a policy back in 2014 because but if you want to register right now, it's 2 years and older to the Forest Department and apply for it. But if it's a baby right now, we won't allow you because that baby still has the chance to go back to rehab and be wild. Yeah. And so that is one of the reasons that we're here, because we want to highlight that we don't want people to be buying these chicks. Right now, in 2 weeks, we've confiscated a lot of these parrots that are chicks. And people would say, well, I want a companion animal and so on. And a lot of times, some people do not take good care of them. Yeah. We've gotten parrots that are pink. A yellowhead that should be yellow is pink, literally pink. And people would look at me just like you're looking at me. Is the parrot? It could be a different species. No, it's not. It's a pink parrot. But because you're feeding it.
Is that an example of a severely damaged parrot?
That's a chick.
Or that's a chick?
That's a chick.
No, that's a severely damaged
parrot.
Yes.
Wow, what's
what would be the situation with this one, Miss?
It would either be stress or external parasites, but probably this case it was stress.
It's stress.
Wow. Yes.
So they get stressed out in captivity.
And they start to pluck their feathers.
If you can imagine, you know, somebody's taking you from your home and they've shut you in a little wire box in your home. You can't get out, you can't go play with your friends, you can't go feed on the trees you want to feed on, you're getting tortillas, and it's so bad for them.
And we don't think about these things. I mean, I did not grow up with a parrot in my home. My mother wouldn't allow any sort of pets in the house, but I grew up seeing a lot of people have parrots in their homes as companions, the ones that could talk, the ones that would mimic you. And it all seems so attractive, like, wow, I want a bird. But in 2014, what caused the department to make such a drastic shift, to implement such a policy?
We started because the program was kind of dormant for a while. And so when we picked up the program in 2014, a lot of the outreach, we started to see parrots like the one that was shown. A lot of these parrots were severely stressed out. You could see them in cages. We had several, especially in Orange Rock, that would walk around their perch up and down, and up and down. And you would know that that bird is basically going crazy right in there. But people would say, no, he just likes to walk up and down. It's not walking up and down. That animal is stressed.
Wow.
So those are the things, and those are the things that made the department take that stand, because we started to see that people are not keeping them in proper care. They're not providing them the care that they require. And like Nikki said, a lot of these homes, when you go to these homes, you would see that the parrots have a little plate of rice. Yeah. That's not what they eat. Or you would see them having takis, or you see a little hot dog sausage. Like
that's not what they eat.
That's not what
I want to take the conversation to Nikki and talk about the types of parrots that we do have here in Belize and ways that you can care for your parrot, if of course you have the proper permit to do so.
Okay. It doesn't much matter which type of parrot it is. They all live on a wild diet, which we find very hard to provide. Even as a rehab organization, we find that difficult to provide. So we compensate with fruits and vegetables that we can get here. The point is these parrots should not be eating any kind of processed food, no white rice, no white flour, nothing. It's fruits and vegetables and nuts. And that's pretty much it.
How does the bird rescue, your team, come in to assist or work to ensure that people understand what's happening here with these parrots, and how do you help? Do you jump in when there's a call for a rescue of sorts? If somebody reports, hey, not only is this parrot talking a lot, my neighbor's parrot talking a lot, but also it seems as if it's being mistreated, does their team respond?
We're actually not an enforcement agency. We work hand in hand with the forest department for that side of things. So we would usually call the forest department. But if somebody is coming to us, as often happens, and says, you know what, I don't think this is the best thing for my bird. He doesn't look happy, he doesn't look healthy, I can't care for him, will you take him? And the organization, that is one of our core principles, is that we rehabilitate whatever we can rehabilitate for release back into the wild.
So you try to release them back into the wild?
We do. We probably at about 75 to 80% of the birds that we receive, we can rehabilitate.
Yes.
These parrots, like I said, you've not really removed them from their environment. You've just given them a different way of life, and all we have to do is show them the correct way of life, and they figure it out.
How many parrots would you say have come through your doors throughout the course of your career?
How many have we?
Parrots have come through your doors.
Well, we looked it up the other day. It was nearly 1,200.
1,200. Wow.
And like I say, we release about 75%. There's some that don't make it because they're too sick. There's some that cannot go back because they're missing limbs or eyes, or they're just too imprinted. You know.
I know this might be a little bit away from the topic that we're discussing right now, but I remember just a couple weeks ago or a few weeks ago, we saw reports of some of the wildlife being heavily impacted by the forest fires, including birds. Was this something that you guys observed as well? Parrots being affected?
Yes, we did get a parrot that was severely burnt.
I think I saw that picture.
At first we thought maybe it was just burnt on the head, but when we got it, he was really burnt. And we don't know how comes it managed to survive. So imagine that you have other threats. You have the threats of fire. You have natural disasters as well. Your home might not be there, and then we have poachers, and that was one. For this season, what we saw was a lot of poachers from the villages, actually hunting and marking trees. We had one that was very brazen. That was by Galen. The tree is within the Galen compound, and he parked his motorcycle and he's scouting out the tree. He even had the audacity to go and ask for a ladder so that he could go up the tree to go and get the parrot. So people are getting a little bit brave.
Ignorance?
I'm not sure if it's ignorance, but at the end of the day, it's a quick buck if you get it. We confiscated one, and the person was really sad and saying, well, I paid $200 each. I have two. So imagine $400, losing $400 at the end too. So it is a source of income for some people.
Is the enforcement response solely confiscation? Can they be fined?
Yes, but the fines are very minimal if we use the Wildlife Protection Act. And if you go through the court system, honestly, it doesn't make sense. The first offender, you get 500. If you're a second offender, the maximum you can get is 1,000. We can charge you under the Forest Act as possession, and that runs to 10,000. But again, you have to be caught with it and all of that. And a lot of times we have to basically be dodging people to reach home, because sometimes they're not at home and you would see the parrot in your yard and you're looking at it, but you can't really enter the yard until they're home. I think one of the ones that we had about 2 weeks ago, the person passed, and it was being reported. It's not as if it's not being reported. People were reporting it, and so we were going every day almost, but the persons were not at home. And so one of the parrots looked like it was, we thought it was dead because it was just laying on the cage. And so when we went to the person and said, you know, I think your parrot is dead, the person came home, and that's when we told them, well, you can't keep them because they're chicks. And so some people are not hesitant to give them back, but some are really hesitant to give them back.
Let's talk a bit about, because it's a reality, a bit about this registration or permit process. It's a reality that we have to face and you have to deal with, but what are the things that are looked at when somebody comes and says, I have this parrot, he's a part of my family, and I want to keep him or her? What sort of assessment is
so
done?
we have, you go through a series of inspections. So once you apply, we would then book in an inspection. What we look for is the cage size. One is the cage size. It is that you have purchase, and it's not metal purchase, but it's wooden purchase. That you have the appropriate food there, the vegetables, fruits, also water. Because a lot of times they don't have clean water. So those are the main things that we give them. A lot of times some people are giving them the proper diet. They do have the purchase, but the cage size is what is lacking. So we would give them at least 2 weeks to a month to fix their cage size. And then we would work on that. We would
An example of this there, would that be a too small cage?
Yes.
For 2 birds inside too?
Yes.
I'm thinking, you know, if you have wings and you're not able to fly from one location to the next. But there's another thing that I wanted to point out, because I think we have a pretty popular bird watching community here in Belize. Do we have any species of parrots that we are concerned about becoming endangered?
Well, we highlight that we have, like I mentioned to you, the scarlet macaw, but also the yellowhead. And yellowhead is one of the prized parrots that people want because they mimic. So everybody wants either a blue head or a yellowhead, because those are the two that mimic. While the others are smaller species, they don't really want those ones because they're small. So those are the ones that people really, really want to buy, and they would pay a higher price for those than for the smaller ones.
Ms. Nikki, for you, what would be your advice to individuals who may consider getting a parrot to put in captivity? And if that's the case, what would be your advice? And would you venture to say, don't have them in captivity at all?
I could talk all day about this.
Yeah,
I was actually going to make a t-shirt that says everyone wants a parrot till they get one.
Oh.
They're loud, they're destructive, they're demanding, they're difficult to care for, they get sick and they worry you to death when they get sick. They are just not supposed to be in captivity. Even the American market, where they're captive bred for the pet trade, people say these are not pets. These should not be in cages. They don't do well in cages. Simple as that. So I would say don't do it. Definitely don't. Get a chicken. Chickens are adorable. They're great pets. Even the little parakeets you can get, and they lay you breakfast, right? And even the little parakeets you can get from the pet store, they make better pets and they still talk.
Yeah,
you Google them, they talk like crazy. So for me, there's a lot more better domesticated animals than the wild parrots to put in cages. So I would say definitely don't.
Well, ladies, as we wrap up this segment, I'll give you an opportunity to share your final thoughts with our viewers.
Okay, so our final thoughts on behalf of the Forest Department is that if you have chicks that you've just gotten, please give them a chance to be wild. If you have a parrot that is 2 years and older, then please reach out to the Forest Department, fill out your application so that you can get the necessary permits that is required so that you can have your bird legally, because if you do not have them legally, then they can be confiscated. So that's our final.
And for you, Ms. Nikki?
And for me, I echo exactly what Ms. Victoria said. And also, if you have any concerns about a parrot you have in captivity, whether he's registered or not, our concerns are for the birds.
Yeah.
So you can always call us for advice or for help, or if you want to surrender your bird, we're right here.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, ladies, thank you so much for stopping by and, of course, talking about your respective topics. We appreciate it as always.
Thank you.
Thanks
for having us.
All right, we're going to take another quick break, and when we come back, the conversation switches into the Grow the Future project.
Hello, friends. I'm Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "For we are laborers together with God." The secret to living in a successful society is learning to link your life up with others. Once a famous organist was to give several concerts using an old-fashioned pump organ. The bellows of the organ had to be pumped by hand, so the organist hired a young boy to stand behind the organ and pump while he played. After the first concert, the boy said to the organist, "We played good tonight." "What do you mean, we? I was the one who played, not you," replied the organist. When the organist sat down to begin the next concert, no sound came out of the organ. It suddenly dawned on him that there was no air in the bellows. The organist whispered to the boy behind the organ, "Pump." The boy responded in a whisper, "Say we." When you find a great church, a great school, a great country, a great athletic team, a great band, you will discover that it is not just because of its leader, but because of the people behind the leader who have learned the secret of cooperation. Link your life to others, and most importantly to Jesus Christ, who wants your life to have purpose. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Hi, my name is Lincoln Fowers and I work at UMAL. 100% I will recommend Belize Bank mobile banking to everyone because it saves time, money and gas price, because gas price is high right now. Belize Bank mobile banking just make life easier.
This plan, I can't leave this plan. Smart Belize!
Hey there, smart thinkers. We're turbocharging your mobile experience with Smart's powered up postpaid plans. Imagine a world where your data speeds flows faster than ever. Well, guess what? We've cranked up the dial and unleashed the postpaid power of Smart's lightning fast LTE data on all our postpaid plans. That's right, no speed bumps, more data. It's like having a limitless highway of data speed at your fingertips. Whether you're a lone ranger with an individual plan or a squad rolling with a group plan, everyone gets to surf, stream, and share at enhanced, full, high-quality speed. Switch to Smart's powered up postpaid plans today and ride the wave of postpaid power. Visit any Smart showroom or smart-bz.com for details and make your mobile experience smarter and faster. Smart, bringing people together.
I know I can't leave this plan. I can't leave this plan.
Let's take a journey through the core functions of the Social Security Board. It all starts with registering as an insured person, employer, or self-employed individual. Sign up for a portal account to manage your Social Security information online. Just provide accurate information and click Create. This will give you access to a range of services and benefits. Next, your contribution, along with investments and other income, are collected and distributed into 3 funds. This ensures that the SSB fund is securely utilized to support various benefit programs. The SSB is committed to providing essential benefits such as sickness, maternity, injury, and pension. These benefits are paid out to eligible individuals as a part of the Social Security coverage. We help you navigate through life's challenges with financial security. Annual surplus accumulates to grow the fund each year. This surplus is invested into various industries, contributing to the growth and development of our nation. With each passing year, the fund continues to grow due to the annual surplus and interest revenue earned from prudent investments. This surplus, along with reserves, helps to bolster the SSB fund and provide a safety net for those in need. We've arrived at the end of our journey to better understanding how the SSB works. We remain committed to serving you and building a secure future for all Belizeans.
Welcome back, guys. We're having our third conversation this morning, and as we mentioned, it's all about Grow the Future Project. Of course, this is an organization, and we have here with us the Director of Program Affairs, Peter Lacey Jr., to talk to us about it.
Thank you very much.
Nice to have you back.
Yes, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been like a year.
Yes, a year. Probably maybe about my 15th or 16th time on the show, right? So we've transitioned from 2004.
Wow.
Took a break.
That's 20 years ago, you know.
20 years. The pandemic had me at 18, you know, so now we're pushing to get to the year 20, if God's spare life,
yes.
right? So.
But I remember last year we had you guys here on set to talk to us about the summer STEAM program that takes place every year. But I want us to take a step back and really talk about the organization on a whole and all it represents, the activities that they have as well through the Grow the Future project.
You know, I got started in 2004 doing summer programs to prepare kids going from standard 5 into standard 6 for primary school examination. You know that the PSE? The PSE has been discontinued. And where the Ministry of Education is moving now is with CBET. CBET it deals with modules, and the student has to master a particular module before they move on. So it's basically no child left behind, right? Literally, it's not just saying it; it's actually doing it now. So what we do is that we look at modules that students struggle with, and then we focus on that in the summer, because it's only 3 weeks. We can't put a 9-month curriculum and try to condense it. We have to look at modules that students would benefit from, and then we that is how we approach it. You know, focus on the weak areas so they can get that jump start going into September.
You mentioned that, and I'm sorry, Paul, but you mentioned that this is an umpteenth time since you've been here on the show talking about obviously something that you're clearly passionate about. But what brought you into education or programs that focus on education for kids?
My sister is a teacher. We have several educators in our family. And you know, at 15, I volunteered or was already volunteering with both YMCA and YWCA. By the time I was 19, I realized, like, okay, volunteering is good. It gets you experience. It creates a network, because that is why I always encourage young people, before you want to make that paycheck, volunteer and give some free work. You will never know what that free work is going to do.
I always say that as well.
Networking. But however, you got to take what you want as well, because we are going to become volunteers for the rest of our life.
You can't be volunteers for the rest of your life.
No. And from 15 to 19, I said it's time for me to move on. And then I branched off and I started my own PSC summer program. By 2007, I grew the program to about 250 students in Belize City alone. And then I said, you know what, the program is getting too big. We need to create an organization that attaches the program to it, so we can go out to the business community, the private and the public sector and other organizations, so I can push the program. By 2012, I said we have established a name. Let's go to the districts. Started out in 2012 at St. Peter's Anglican with the now First Lady of the country. She was the principal at the time at St. Peter's Anglican. And you know, she assisted me to begin growing what this program has become. And after that, from 2012, I think that year I got 120 students in Orange Walk, and I said, let's go Corozal to Toledo. By 2013, 2014, I had a program running at about 540 students per year.
Wow.
Fast forward to 2023, going to 2024, we're over 6,000 students from 2004 to now.
Okay, yes, all right. I thought it was in 1 year, because that's a lot.
No.
Yeah.
So in 18 years, it's over 6,000 students.
And you've had some of them repeat coming, like come back.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have students in banks now, media, DJs, you name it, you know.
Sports.
Yes. The oldest kids that were in that program in 2004 are probably about 31, 32 years old.
Yeah, because
right now.
that's 20 years. That's 20 years ago, and clearly, when establishing this program, you fill the gap.
Yes.
Because clearly there was a need to have such high demand. Let's talk a bit about the experience that these kids have during summer program.
The important thing for parents is that, one, they want an activity for their child. They may have some deficiency. What I've learned over the years is that there is no time limit on learning and education. So I encourage parents, even though I'm promoting, I encourage parents right from the bat, let's stop right now saying, oh, my child is 12 and can't read, or my child is 13 and in standard 5. No, that time is finished. If they're 15 in standard 6 and they are learning, and when they receive the necessary tools to go to high school, that is what we are focusing on. We're not focusing on age and if they get it. Sometimes it's until you put a check in front of somebody and they can't read that check or cannot calculate their salary, then the need for maths and English and computer and Spanish and all these things come. It's until the need is there. So we need to scrap that idea, and it is hard. And anytime I hear, oh, my child is slow, no, your child is not slow. It's not his time or her time to grasp the information.
It also takes away that stigma that comes with learning as well. And I think that's perhaps one of the most commendable parts of the latest competency-based curriculum, because it takes away the requirement of students being at a certain age and grasping a particular module at the same exact pace as others. I think it embraces other ways that kids learn as well, aside from just writing down notes from a blackboard. You're able to insert yourself into these pieces of information that are being taught to these kids, and they're able to learn in ways that they learn best.
And what the program has morphed into and evolved into is consistency. Because the minute you step out of that classroom the last Friday of June, and sometimes now they're even closing earlier than that, kids don't grasp that information until they step back in September, and then it puts the teachers behind the 8 ball. So we make sure that we keep that flow going in that 3-week period, that they are sharper going into September, and it has paid off throughout the year.
So let's talk a bit about some of the features of this year's Summer STEAM programs, 2K24. Give us a bit of information on the dates.
Let's not forget 18 years doing this, so 18%
with 18% off. He'll tell us that. So give us some details, the dates, registration, how can people register, the price. Let us know.
Important thing is that we've already given out over 20,000 flyers between all the schools that we're promoting to. So the schools have already received this flyer. The important thing to note is that the QR code, because we're doing an online application, it's my first time doing it, right? And the form, the original form got filled, so we had to make another one, and we were unable to remove that link with the new link for the application form and attach it to this QR code. So in a nutshell, the QR code is not working. It won't work.
Good to know.
So you can call 620-6639. And I will also put my number as well, 672-2700, because this number is also probably having some issues at the moment. And we will give you the new link to do the online application. The program is July 1st to the 19th. It will be held at Holy Redeemer Parish Hall and St. Andrew's Anglican in San Ignacio. We have discounts, as we said, 18% off for year 18. The registration fee is $20 and the program cost is $60. That went down from $25 for registration last year and $75 for.
So $80 in total.
$80 in total from $100.
Instructional delivery. So these are some of the learning activities, the themed learning activities.
Yes.
Talk about the decision to have these two different topics.
I've always focused on English and maths because those are the two most glaring needs. I wish I could do all 8 subjects, you know, but it's not realistic because, as we said, we have to focus on particularly the weaker points, and they have always been English and math. And of course, we tailor that now with the STEAM concept as well, and the competency base, where they have to relate what they're learning in the classroom to everyday living, especially with the upper division, you know, so we focus our field trips and site visits along stuff that they're learning in the classroom.
And you know, that's an excellent point, because I was here thinking to myself, I believe one of the very same questions I asked you last year, and I'm going to ask again, is how do you make learning fun during the summertime when these kids, they want to be out of the classroom, they want to not think too much? How do you make learning math and English fun?
It's about making it hands-on and literally working with your hands, project-based, you know, getting out there doing activities and like that to tie it in. Because if it's just blackboard-based, which a lot of schools and teachers and administrators are still trying to push. Some teachers, some schools don't even want to graduate to Moodle. You know, like, because the kids can learn at home if they have that electronic copies of these things, you know. So we allow our teachers to try new things that they would not have the autonomy with their administration during the school year to try. And it definitely makes it more fun for the kids and definitely more worthwhile for the teachers facilitating the program.
How big is your team?
Our team is at 4 to 6. It depends, because we have to see how the registration is. But it can definitely grow as big as 8 with where we're
per location.
No. This is with both programs. When I did maybe 8 programs in 1 year, we had probably 16 to 20 teachers, you know, total, right? And I will be going back to that national perspective, because there is some numbers. Good. There is some numbers that I need to break before we graduate from summer program and going into the new phase of summer activities, because we feel that it's time. It's almost time to, you know. I wanted to cap it off at 20 years, but I need to cap it off at 10,000 students before I leave.
Well,
and
I mean,
I'm only at 6.
It's crazy. So it's crazy to say I want to cap it off at 20 years, and then we're almost at 20 years in terms of you're at 18 now because of COVID. I want to cap it off at 20 years, but 20 years is looking to come.
Yes.
In just a couple of years.
Yes.
For you, that's insane.
But the 10,000 mark is important. There are a couple numbers. Previous Deputy Prime Minister from the previous administration had a program with 2,000 students in his constituency in 2014. That has been a number that what pushed me to the 540 in 2014. I've never been able to even come close to that figure. I will break that before I leave, before we transition. And the second number important for me is the 10,000. We will, by next year, we'll be launching Project 10,000 to make that march towards 10,000 students.
Is there any ideas yet on what the summer what the field trip activity will be like this year, and does the fees cover the cost of that?
The fees are subsidized, because we always get our sponsors to assist us with field trips. We went to Golf Ski last year. Before that, we've partnered with the Belize Zoo, having overnight camping trips at Tropical Education Center.
Nice.
Partnered with Belize Audubon Society, taking students to Coxcomb Basin. We've been all over Orange Rock, for some reason like Caleritas and Chetomal, but you know, but when we take it back to that national, to that fully national level, it's semi-national right now. But when you go back fully national, we will be having transitioning into what I'm calling Summer FET. And that's what FET is. It's Family Education Tourism Experience.
Well, what a way
that's
to
what we're transitioning.
I know, because I was like, what?
Right, so so that is where Summer STEAM will be transitioning into, where we'll be focusing on parent-child relationship and experience outside of the classroom, because they get that experience with the field trips, but we want to do something for a day or two where we can have mothers and fathers together with their children.
That's excellent.
For these camping experience. So that's where we're evolving into.
When it comes to this this particular summer, are your spaces still available?
Yes. What makes it easier is that first we used to have the application form to the back of the flyer. Now we have the online application. Parents can they can just call, request the link, and we'll provide it, and they can register online, they can pay online, or they can come to the registration, which is going to be this Friday, June 28th, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at both Holy Redeemer Parish Hall and St. Andrews.
Remind us of the number to call again.
Yes. The phone number is 620-6639, and I'm also giving my personal one as well, just in case if you're unable to get the first one. That one is having a little technical issue at the moment. 672-2700.
All right, so Summer's Team 2K24, as Mr. Lacey said, July 1st to the 19th. It's only $80 in total for that entire month of field trip activities, learning activities, arts and craft, of course catering to Belize City as well as San Ignacio.
San Ignacio is like surrounding villages.
Right, and Belize City, well, it's huge.
Yes, it's huge.
There's a lot of areas in Belize City.
And the age range is?
Is preschool graduates going into infant 1 up to standard 5 going into 6.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Peter, for stopping by. As always, it is a pleasure having you here, seeing how you are growing the future.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Okay.
All right, we're going to take our final break, and when we come back, it's all about the Belize City Defenders versus the Belize Hurricanes. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Let's take a journey through the core functions of the Social Security Board. It all starts with registering as an insured person, employer, or self-employed individual. Sign up for a portal account to manage your Social Security information online. Just provide accurate information and click Create. This will give you access to a range of services and benefits. Next, your contribution, along with investments and other income, are collected and distributed into 3 funds. This ensures that the SSB fund is securely utilized to support various benefit programs. The SSB is committed to providing essential benefits such as sickness, maternity, injury, and pension. These benefits are paid out to eligible individuals as a part of the Social Security coverage. We help you navigate through life's challenges with financial security. Annual surplus accumulates to grow the fund each year. This surplus is invested into various industries, contributing to the growth and development of our nation. With each passing year, the fund continues to grow due to the annual surplus and interest revenue earned from prudent investments. This surplus, along with reserves, helps to bolster the SSB fund and provide a safety net for those in need. We've arrived at the end of our journey to better understanding how the SSB works. We remain committed to serving you and building a secure future for all Belizeans.
Prepare for the heat and stay cool with a Reamer-Gree air conditioning unit from Benny's. Choose the right BTU unit size for your bedroom or living room and enjoy complete comfort. You can also save money with an inverter unit that is energy efficient. When the heat is on, stay cool and comfortable with an affordable, dependable AC unit from Ream or Gree. Available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
My name is Leomar Langsert and I'm a teacher and I bank with Belize Bank Independence Branch. What I enjoy is the safety features that the app offers. I have a sense of not having to worry or be concerned about somebody finding my password and username to sign in the application because of the use of the one-time password. And another feature that I love, that I use the most, is how the app synchronizes with my fingerprint on my device. I enjoy the rapid and easy, seamless process to apply for loans through the Belize Bank, and I don't have to be having too much back and forth to visit or take time to visit the bank. They also start to offer the online applications through the app for loan applications, which I believe is very neat. I would definitely recommend Belize Bank to other teachers because one of all the features and advantages that the app offer, with these online that Belize Bank offered, is basically everything that you can do in the palm of your hand. So I would definitely recommend the bank to other teachers.
I'm connected. Yo.
I'm connected.
We're connected.
Create the perfect broadband bundle that fits your style with Smart Connect. With the Junior Bundle, get 50% off your national calls and up to 6 gigabytes of data at no extra cost. Get postpaid added on for an additional cost of only $25 with the Prime Bundle. Stay connected with unlimited smart-to-smart calls plus 6,300 megabytes of data and free international minutes. For the family, get the Binge Watchers bundle with Netflix add-on for only $28.13 more. This bundle gives you 4 profiles with unlimited streaming on multiple devices. Visit a showroom near you to sign up and personalize your own bundle combination with Smart Connect. Smart, bringing people together.
Welcome back. This is our fourth and final conversation for this morning, and it is all about the highly anticipated matchup between the Belize City Defenders and the Hurricanes on Friday night. This is Wednesday, right? So we're 2 days away from Game 3 of the BBL 2024 Finals, and we have in studio to talk with us about all of it, John Marsden, who's the marketing manager over at the Defenders, as well as none other than the man himself, Daniel Estes, a player for the Belize City Defenders. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning, guys. How we feeling?
Morning. Excited, ready?
Yeah, I can see the excitement. Yeah. So,
early morning.
John, Friday night coming, we have Game 3. Let's talk a bit about the anticipation as it builds up.
Well, it's no secret that the teams, first of all, not really check for each other.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, we both from the city. We both want to claim the city, so this has a lot of bragging rights behind it.
Yeah.
And even more so, the series is tied 1-1.
Yeah.
So Game 3, whoever wins Game 3 puts a lot of pressure on the other team for Game 4. You know, the excitement of that, the adrenaline, even the stress that comes with decisive, if I lose today, I out kind of thing, put a lot of stress on the other team. So both teams were hungry, both teams want to come out. I mean, this series has been nothing short of gritty.
Yeah.
I mean, for a better word, might be grimy, because everybody sacrifice their bodies, sacrifice their blood to a point, because both sides has players
injured at some point.
Not necessarily. They get injured because they bust their mouth or something. It's a physical playing game. It's very physical. Lot of emotions. The Civic Friday night and Sunday was it wasn't ram jam packed, but it had a great crowd, and I'm sure the crowd enjoyed that game.
It's going to be packed.
Sunday was a game.
It was perhaps one of the most physical games I've seen this season, especially in the third quarter. Things got really physical, and that did not let up in the fourth quarter. But I have to say, congratulate you and the Belize City Defenders on your run and performance this season. Much better than what you all did last season. Let's talk a bit about what has made the difference.
A lot of things made the difference. We got a better, I wouldn't say a better. We got a team that's willing to work for each other. We have a team that the chemistry started to pop just correctly. Like at the specific time that we're supposed to peak, we peaked. The camaraderie for the guys started at when this guy came. I mean, he's a Belizean American. He came in April, right? He came in April, and last time I said it, we didn't lose. Like since he came, we have not lost until Friday night. We lost against the Hurricanes. So he is a vital part of this team. He is the motor of this team. I mean, if you see him play, he's all over the place. You beat him, you think you get away from him. No, he's there taking your ball into the stands. You give him the ball. He's not something that we used to see in Belize. He's old school. He used a lot of hook shots. He used a lot of his body. He's very physical. So I think a lot of things came along, the coaching staff, the players at the same time, just all peaked and sacrificed and say, you know what, let's come together, let's make this work. This is our season, we want it.
I agree with you 100%, John. There is an insatiable thirst for this win. But I want to ask Daniel about the experience so far, because we very few had the gentlemen here on set with us this season, and I think it's because they're so focused on what they're supposed to do on that court whenever their games are being played. Daniel, since we have you here, what has it been like?
Honestly, it leads back to just the adventure and the journey I have playing basketball my whole life. Like, it's been a fight for greatness, challenging myself, challenging my peers, and it all have fallen on circumstances. As John mentioned earlier, things clicking at the right time. Unfortunately for me, a good part of my career, things didn't click years after years after years. You can say the same for the defenders. I heard that they went to the finals their first year, then after that. So for me, it's been like that, and it's been hard for me to develop.
Yeah.
When I came here and how hungry I've been, like staying on top of basketball, I've seen a lot of people quit, livelihood things happen back in the States. When I got here, it's like I was working with a vital piece of an agent back home, and he was giving me insight, and I started studying the game like I've never done in my life. Every practice, I will film the whole thing. I will see my weaknesses, my strengths. I will see how to get better. And the biggest challenge I had up until now was actually the last game Sunday.
Which you guys actually won.
And we won it too, and we pulled off the win.
What was your challenge in that game?
Mental.
What was it?
Mental.
At what point in the game?
Halftime. Halftime, I literally lost it. No one probably could tell, but you could see as I went in, I lost it. And I had to regroup myself. I had to use my own energy to come off with the burst I came off starting the third. And once I got that, for how far I've came with this game, I mean, the way I was being used this whole series, it gave me plenty time to recover fully. Like, my body is healed. Like, I got these battle wounds on me, but trust me, I'm 100%. So with going through that mentally, and then my team regrouping from that, and then we picked up the pieces this week on how to stay more together and solid. I'm in my prime, if I'm gonna be honest with you.
How comfortable are you with the sort of gap between Sunday's win? I mean, you won by one. Do you believe you all can do better and win by more? Because winning by one, a win is a win. I get that, but it shows that you're just inching, or at least at the same level. Are you hoping for a greater win?
To be honest, there's no hope left for me. It's only belief.
Yeah.
Honestly, because of how far I've come. I had a 19 and 10-point game before that, and we lost drastically.
Yeah.
And the belief and confidence I had during that game compared to this game, the stats didn't look the same, is impeccable. So the way I'm gonna attack this Friday's game is based on my style of play. I'm very unorthodox. No one really understands how I play. I shoot with both hands. You can't predict it. There you go. So now that I've locked in on a mental standpoint with my team, and I understand how to be more intact mentally, which makes me a leader, another big piece for anybody on the team, I feel that, I mean, it's no more losses left.
I think it goes without saying, Daniel, that when you're on the court, people has an expectation that you will perform, but that the team will perform behind you as well. What was it like playing alongside Nigel Jones?
Playing alongside Nigel Jones has been a privilege for me, honestly. Really, all of the teammates since I first got here. It's been a slow start for me, as you've seen, and that's what made me like go back to the drawing board every practice, every time I watch the games, and it's developed me until this point where I feel like it's no turning back, it's no thought of hope, it's only belief.
Yeah.
I'm at my prime now.
John, I hear what Daniel is saying here about the mental aspect of this sport, and I have to say I appreciate that you mentioned that, Daniel, because it gives myself a different perspective of what takes place when you're playing these games. I naturally think of the physical skill that you develop, but I think being able to witness Friday's game, for example, you recognize that there's a large part of the mental strategy and development that is needed. What have you observed from the players going into the game this Friday? Are they preparing themselves mentally for anything that could possibly happen?
From the beginning of the series, I think everybody was mentally locked on. Friday's game, we had I wouldn't say a mental lapse. It was just we had a horrible game.
Yeah, especially in the second half.
Paul asked how we felt after a 1-point win.
Yeah.
We from game one, like I told people, coming into game one, I didn't know what to expect. I mean, the first time we played them, they trashed us. The second time we played them, we got a 2-point win. The third time we played them, we lost by 20. Coming into game two, I was sure that we're not going to lose again. Right? Because we shot ourselves in the foot time after time after time. We missed, the first game we missed 13 free throws. The second game we missed 16 free throws. So, and we won by 1 with missing 16 free throws. If we made those free throws, we'd have won by 17. Right? Our team, our coaching staff, our team has studied this team so much. I literally do that as my homework every night before I go to sleep. I watch one of the games. I write down stuff that I see. The head coach write down stuff that he sees. The assistant coaches write down stuff that they see. And we bring it all together in practice. We have a game plan. Every practice we have a game plan. Practice, we have a game plan. Not the game, the practice. And we execute that game plan at the practice to transcend it over to the games. So this series, I don't think people understand how much it means to us, the defenders. I mean, like Daniel said, we went to the finals. The first year we came into the league, we went to the finals. We lost to the Hurricanes. Right? From then, we have not made it back to the finals. I think we made playoffs one. No, I think we haven't even made playoffs since then, because the 2020 season got cut short when we were trampling everybody, and then we didn't make it. This is our 5th year, so yes, the 2 years we missed the playoffs. This is the second time back into the playoffs, and we're back into the finals.
Clearly, it means a lot. And Sunday's win also seems like it meant a lot. I mean, watching you all celebrate on the sidelines, one would have thought you won the championship already. Just because of how intense the game was leading up to the last few seconds, the last 8 seconds of the game. Nigel with those big free throws.
Missing 10 prior.
Missing 10 prior.
Yes.
That's crazy. And you also had one of your main guards out. He was kicked out of the game, Campbell. But clearly, the emotions and the celebrations at the end of that game builds for what we can expect on Friday night.
Yeah. So back to that, like, I mean, just to show you how the lockdown the team was, our second string or third string point guard, because we don't really have, we go by playing by play styles, which play we want to run, came in and he held his own. He's a 22-year-old young man, totally inexperienced in those positions, but because he's been putting his body and his mind into positions to make him better, he came out without making turnovers. He came out without making wrong plays. He made the right plays at the right time. Like I tell him, I'm proud of him because he made those proper plays.
That is Campbell we're talking about.
No, that was Evral, Tablada.
Tablada, yes.
Yeah, Campbell was the one that was kicked out.
Yes.
So Tablada, we sorted Tablada afterwards.
Correct,
but
yes.
Just to say, like, the entire team has locked on. Like, we're just so mentally focused on what we want and how we want to accomplish what we've done. I mean, like I tell you, this is our second finals against the Hurricanes. They won us the first time. So we need to return that favor to them. But this Friday, I mean, encouraging people to come out. The game starts at 9 p.m. Doors open at 7. Tickets go on sale Friday morning at the Belize City Civic Center ticket booth. Courtside is $50. VIP seating is $35. General admission is $10. Kids under 12 is $5. We have a lot of attractions. We have that big 1, 2, 3 vegetable oil half-court shot. We have resort stays from Moya Una Resorts. I mean, we have a laptop that's donated by UNICEF that we'll be giving away. They're celebrating 35 years for child advocacy, I think it is. So we have a lot of things for the family. The kids, we always encourage the kids. Nigel,
the kids love Nigel.
Yes, I see like an entire
He's a celebrity.
I see an entire picture of like a whole bunch of kids with Nigel. He's a magnet to the kids. The kids love him, love how animated he is. You know, so it's something good for the family. It's something good for sports lovers. It's something good for an outing for people to come and enjoy. So we encourage everybody to come out and try to come and enjoy a game. Bring your horns. We're not allowing the whistles. Come cheer for the defenders.
So just as we wrap up this conversation, because we're wholly out of time, what would it mean for you, Daniel, to win a championship first here in Belize?
I mean, I feel like win or lose is the start of a new dawn because of how far I came, which I'm proud to say. And I feel also that shows the mentality I've been given at this point in my career and being challenged to go this far with the defenders. So for me, it would mean, a big accomplishment for as hard how I apologize.
That's okay.
How hard I fought towards obtaining greatness. So I feel like for me, it's something that I share with the team because of how far they've able me to go. Honestly, I couldn't do this without my team. So I would give it to that team more than myself, honestly, if I was to get the championship. But I know just me making it this far, even at this point, means just so much to how much I've become as a player.
Wonderful. Yeah, and your style is as unorthodox as your glasses. So that's certainly for sure. Final thoughts from you, John.
I have to pick up my sponsors. I mean,
go right ahead.
Thoroughly appreciate you guys. Without you guys, nothing this may have been able to materialize. Moya Una Resorts, Honorable Anthony Mala, 123 Vegetable Oil, O River Bar and Grill, Madisco, Innova Dental Care, Channel 5, Mars Rental, Premier Charters and Tours, the BTB, Full Memory Photographing, Body 2000, Night and Day, Channel 7, Shisha 8 Lounge, and anybody who has ever given us any help, any word of encouragement. We are thoroughly, truly grateful for you guys. Like I said, Belize, come out Friday night, 9 p.m. Tickets go on sale 11 a.m. at the ticket office. It's going to be a great game. Both teams are hungry. Both teams want this. And just so we know, we have a game 3, which is the decisive to take the lead.
Yeah.
But the closeout series for either team that wins Friday would be Sunday 6 p.m. at the Belize City Civic Center as well.
Okay.
We are in for a great weekend of basketball, the EBL.
What time is it on Sunday?
6.
6.
Yes.
Yeah, we do it at 6.
That's good.
That 3 o'clock is a rough time.
Yeah.
I
still have my sleeping smart church.
I still got my rights. I'm easy.
Well, you still get for eat.
Oh man. Well, guys, we wish you all the best. We're definitely just as excited as you are, and we know that the Civic is going to be jam-packed.
Yeah. I mean, again, thanks to Channel 5, the entire crew. You guys has been with us 2 years now, and we're very, very grateful for that. And thanks to everybody. Thanks to Ms. Vianney, Marlene, yourself, Sabrina, Paul, April, the whole production, camera crew. I mean, thank you, man.
That's nothing. I think we are all inspired by the team. Just talking about how Nigel attracts these kids, I think there's a greater message behind just the sport of basketball that Defenders represents. It's the way that you guys mentor young people as well that I think we really are inspired by. So congratulations.
So thank you, and all the best on Friday night.
Amen. Thanks.
All right. Well, that does it, Paul, for our Wednesday show. We want to say, of course, thank you to all of our guests who stopped by this morning, but a very special thank you to you guys for tuning in with us. It is July 26th, and if you're June 26th, and if you're celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday to you. And if you'd like to give a birthday shout out, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can send us an email at oye@channel5police.com. You can also catch us on Facebook.
Yeah, you can always catch us on Facebook every single morning at Open Your Eyes BC.
As well as Instagram for behind-the-scenes contents at OYE Belize. Thank you so much for joining us, and please do us a favor and join us again tomorrow as you open your eyes.
And start your morning right.
Until then, keep your eyes, your mind,
and your hearts open.
Have a wonderful Wednesday.
Was brought to you by SMART, bringing people together, and the Belize Bank, our country, your bank.